The dangers of division and tribalism. A nation is rarely destroyed from the outside first. It is weakened from within. External pressure can only succeed when internal fractures already exist. Division is the oldest strategy used against rising peoples. It is simple, it is effective, and it is devastating. When a people begin to see themselves as separate before they see themselves as united, strength dissolves. When identity becomes weaponized, progress becomes fragile. Unity is not sentimental, it is strategic. Part 1. The psychology of division. Division begins in the mind. It begins when differences are exaggerated, when shared purpose is minimized, when suspicion replaces trust, when history is used not for understanding but for resentment. A divided people spend energy defending against each other instead of building together. Energy divided internally cannot be projected externally. Internal conflict weakens negotiation. It weakens economic growth. It weakens institutional confidence. And most dangerously, it weakens morale. Morale is invisible strength. When morale fractures, ambition declines. Part 2. Tribalism as political tool. Tribalism is powerful because it appeals to identity. It simplifies complex issues into emotional loyalty. It replaces policy with allegiance. It replaces competence with familiarity. When leadership is chosen based on tribe rather than merit, institutions suffer. When loyalty to group outweighs loyalty to nation, corruption finds shelter. Tribalism is not pride in heritage. Heritage is strength. Tribalism becomes dangerous when it excludes, when it distrusts automatically, when it assumes division before dialogue. A nation cannot move forward if its citizens calculate progress based on group advantage rather than collective benefit. Part 3, how division weakens economic power. Economic growth requires cooperation. Supply chains cross regions. Industries depend on stability. Investors seek predictability. Division produces uncertainty. Uncertainty discourages investment. Investment withdrawal reduces employment. Unemployment increases frustration. Frustration fuels further division. Division is not only social weakness, it is economic liability. When regional rivalry interferes with national planning, development slows. When public contracts are awarded through favoritism rather than merit, productivity declines. Merit builds strength. Favoritism builds fragility. Part 4. The illusion of short-term advantage. Some believe division can create temporary power by rallying one group against another, by mobilizing fear, by amplifying difference. But short-term political gain through division produces long-term national loss. A fractured society cannot sustain unified vision. Policies become contested not on merit but on identity. Infrastructure becomes politicized. Education becomes ideological. National goals become fragmented, and fragmentation delays progress. Part 5, unity as a discipline. Unity is not automatic, it is cultivated. It requires maturity, it requires restraint, it requires patience. Unity does not mean uniformity. It means alignment towards shared objectives. It means recognizing that differences exist without allowing differences to dominate. It means debating policy without destroying relationships. It means competing politically without destabilizing society. Unity requires disciplined language, disciplined rhetoric, disciplined emotion. Words can either strengthen cohesion or inflame division. Leadership must choose carefully. Part 6, identity and national purpose. Identity is powerful. Culture is valuable. Tradition is meaningful. But identity must be layered. Tribal identity can coexist with national identity. Cultural pride can coexist with national loyalty. When smaller identities override national identity, tension emerges. A strong nation creates a larger story, a narrative in which every group sees itself reflected. A national identity built on shared values, shared struggle, shared ambition, shared future. Without shared future, unity dissolves. Part 7. External exploitation of internal fractures. External forces observe internal division carefully. They analyze weakness. They identify fractures. They amplify tension. A divided nation becomes easier to influence. Negotiations become complicated. Decision-making slows. Confidence declines. Strength requires internal cohesion. Without cohesion, sovereignty weakens. Unity is therefore protective. It shields national interest. It reinforces negotiation strength. It stabilizes governance. Part 8, the role of education in unity. Unity must be taught. History must be presented with balance. Past injustice must be acknowledged without perpetuating resentment. Education must emphasize shared destiny, shared achievement, shared responsibility. If youth inherit bitterness instead of purpose, division deepens. If youth inherit vision instead of grievance, unity strengthens. Narrative shapes perception. Perception shapes identity. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes national trajectory. Part 9. Merit as unifying force. Merit unites. When opportunity is distributed fairly, trust grows. When positions are earned through competence, respect increases. Merit reduces suspicion. Merit reduces resentment. Merit strengthens institutions. Strong institutions reduce tribal reliance. If citizens believe effort determines success, they invest in development. If citizens believe identity determines success, they retreat into group protection. Protection becomes defensive. Defensiveness slows progress. Part 10, communication and responsibility. Public discourse influences unity. Irresponsible rhetoric divides. Measured dialogue stabilizes. Media must understand responsibility. Leadership must understand influence. Citizens must understand impact. Emotional reaction must not replace rational conversation. Division thrives on exaggeration. Unity thrives on understanding. Understanding requires listening. Listening requires humility. Humility strengthens maturity. Maturity strengthens cohesion. Part 11, building national loyalty. National loyalty must be reinforced through fair governance, through transparent systems, through equitable development. When citizens see investment across regions, trust increases. When development appears selective, suspicion rises. Fairness strengthens unity. Perceived injustice weakens it. Justice must not only exist, it must be visible. Visibility builds confidence. Confidence builds cohesion. Part 12, choosing unity deliberately. Unity is a choice. Division is easy. Unity requires effort. It requires rejecting inflammatory language. It requires resisting manipulation. It requires prioritizing collective good over personal gain. It requires courage. Courage to stand against divisive rhetoric. Courage to promote fairness. Courage to discipline emotion. Courage to build bridges. Bridges strengthen movement. Walls restrict growth. Final charge. Guard against division. Reject manipulation. Protect merit. Strengthen institutions. Celebrate heritage without weaponizing it. Debate without destroying. Compete without fragmenting. Remember that a divided nation negotiates from weakness. A united nation negotiates from strength. Unity is not sentimental. It is strategic. Protect it, cultivate it, discipline it. Because sovereignty depends on cohesion, and cohesion depends on choice. Choose unity.